Be it Capsim Round 1, Capsim Round 2, or even Capsim Round 8 that's giving you trouble, we've got you covered. We'll not only help you complete your Capsim, but we'll also ensure you score 971 out of 1,000 by Round 8. Besides our step-by-step Capsim guides, we also offer comprehensive video courses that cover everything from Capsim Round 1 through Round 8. This video offers well-researched, step-by-step Capsim tips for free. I bet no one wants to miss these free, high-mark Capsim Round 1 answers, especially considering how challenging Capsim can get. But first, kindly subscribe to never miss the unbeatable Capsim cheats and tips that we share on this channel. Hello, I'm your Capsim tutor, always ready to assist. If you're short on time, feel free to WhatsApp us, and we'll solve all your Capsim Round 1 to 8 problems while you attend to more pressing matters. Now, what can you do to become a Capsim powerhouse? Let's build your foundation, and all you need to do is enter these Capsim Round 1 answers exactly as they are. So, let's dive in. What are we going to cover in this video? First, we'll explain the different Capsim strategies, including the one we've selected for our decisions and why we chose it. Next, we'll analyze key Capsim reports that are crucial for making informed Capsim Round 1 decisions. Then, we'll dive into each department, making decisions for Capsim research and development, marketing, production, human resources, finance, and TQM for Capsim Round 1. We'll also create a Capsim Excel spreadsheet template along the way to make the decision-making process easier. And lastly, we'll explain why each decision was made so you understand the rationale behind it. Let's get started. Capsim Strategy Selection. What is the best strategy to win Capsim? Let's explore the options. There are several Capsim strategies, including broad differentiation, broad cost leader, niche differentiation, niche cost leader, and differentiator with the product life cycle. Each one has its own strengths and challenges, so it's crucial to pick the right one for your game plan. If you're thinking of going with any Capsim cost leadership strategy, here's a key point. You'll need to have a large capacity and a higher level of automation to stay competitive. Take Erie Company as an example. They chose a niche cost leadership strategy, focusing only on the traditional and low-end segments. Now, look at their capacity. It's massive 1,800 for one segment and 3,000 for the other. That's the kind of scale you need for cost leadership strategies to work. On the other hand, if you're leaning towards differentiation strategies, those work much better in high-end segments. And guess what? You don't need huge capacities for that. Instead, you can focus on quality and innovation. Differentiation is an incredibly effective way to make a profit, especially when you introduce new products in high-end, performance, and size segments. For this reason, we're choosing broad differentiation as our main Capsim strategy. In fact, if you look at Andrew Company in this Capstone Courier report, you'll see they've gone with broad differentiation too. They've introduced 3 additional products in the high-end, performance, and size markets. Their capacity and automation levels for these segments: moderate, which is exactly what's needed for differentiation. Once you've selected your Capsim strategy, it's time to head over to the Capstone page and start making your decisions. Accessing the Capsim Capstone page via the web is super convenient, so be sure to do that. Capsim reports and their uses. Once in Capsim web spreadsheet, select Decisions, then go to R&D. Our Capsim company name is Digby. Before we do anything, it's important for us first to try and understand the Capsim reports. There are 2 important reports for Capsim Round 1. That is Capsim Round 0 Capstone Courier Report and Capsim Industrial Condition Report. After each round, Capsim will generate a Capstone Courier report for that round. Therefore, you will have Capstone Courier reports for Capsim Rounds 0 through 8. So what are we going to use Capsim Capstone Courier reports for? Capsim Capstone Courier reports will give performance information, Capsim market segment information, and your competitors' information. This information is essential for decision-making in Capsim. Market segment analysis information is the most important information in Capsim Courier reports. There are 5 market segments in Capsim: traditional, low-end, high-end, performance, and size. Market segment analysis reports give information about what customers expect the product in that segment to offer. For example, in the traditional segment, they expect a product in that segment to have 2 years, a price of between $20 and $30, and an MTBF of between 14,000 and 19,000. Basically, without knowledge of this information, we would be blank on what to do when it comes to each segment because we wouldn't know customers' expectations. Each segment has its specific requirements. Therefore, we will refer to Capstone Courier severally as we make decisions and teach you how to use them to get the necessary data for your Capsim decisions. Kindly make sure you follow through and never miss something important about Capsim. Capsim Industrial Condition Report. Now, for the Capsim Industrial Condition Report, I take it as the blueprint of Capsim. This report shows how the simulation is designed to work, but remember, it's a competition. While the blueprint gives you a foundation, you'll need to adjust it accordingly to adapt to the changing environment. So, what does the Capsim Industrial Condition Report contain? It provides 2 key pieces of information: drift rates and segment centers. As you can see, we have segment centers for rounds 0 through 8. We'd also have drift rates. Drifts are the distances from segment centers caused by customers' growing desire for higher performing and smaller sensors. Each Capsim segment's customers have different levels of desire, which is why drifts vary across segments. How do we use Capsim's segment centers and drifts to make decisions? Typically, we take the performance segment centers and add the drift to determine performance decisions. At the same time, we take the size segment center and subtract the drift to come up with a size decision for a given round. This allows us to stay aligned with customer expectations and make the right decisions each round. Daze Capsim A and D decisions. With these 2 reports, let's make the Capsim Round 1 R and D decision for our first product, Daze. Based on the attached Capstone Courier report for Round 0, we know that the ideal age for traditional segment products is 2.0 years. Additionally, the Industrial Condition Report shows that the drift rates for the traditional segment are plus 0.7 for performance and minus 0.7 for size. Currently, Daze has a performance score of 5.5. We'll take the drift from the Capsim Industrial Condition Report and add 0.7 to it, giving us a new performance score of 6.2. That is our performance decision. For the size, Daze currently has a score of 14.5. Adding the negative 0.7 drift, we now get a new size coordinate for Daze at 13.8. According to the Capstone Courier report, customers in the traditional segment expect an MTBF of between 14,000 and 19,000. Since we've chosen a broad differentiation strategy, we aim to provide the best possible reliability, which is why we're increasing the MTBF to the maximum of 19,000. You can also input the drifts, as well as the Capsim Round 0 performance and size coordinates, into our Capsim Excel spreadsheet to calculate the Capsim Round 1 performance and size coordinates. Using our Capsim Excel template will make this process much easier. Now, recalculate the numbers and update the spreadsheet accordingly. This will set up Daze to perform optimally in the traditional segment while aligning with our broad differentiation strategy. The revised version of Daze will be out by August 1st and will have an age of 1.8 years at the time of revision. From the Capsim Courier report, the ideal age for the traditional segment is 2.0 years. While it's tough to hit exactly 2.0, 1.8 is close enough to meet customer expectations. Dell Capsim R and D decisions. Our next product is Dell, which is a low-end product. According to the Capsim Industrial Condition Report, the drift is 0.5. This means we could increase Dell's performance to 3.5 and reduce its size to 16.5. However, making those changes would be a mistake in Capsim. Why? The answer lies in the Capsim Capstone Courier Report. In the low-end market, price is the most important factor, controlling 53% of customer preference. Age is the second most important factor, accounting for 24% of preferences, with an ideal age of 7 years. The ideal spot only accounts for 16%. So, should we sacrifice 24% for 16%? No. The biggest reward lies in maintaining the ideal age of 7 years. Hence, we're not modifying Dell's performance or size coordinates. If we did, we'd cut its age by 2 years, and we wouldn't hit the required 7-year mark in the low-end market segment. For this reason, we're not making any R&D changes to Dell in this round. However, we will adjust it in future CapSim rounds based on evolving customer needs. Even in our CapSim Excel template, we're not adding the drift to Dell's coordinates. CapSim R&D decisions. Next up is our high-end segment product. From the Capsim Industrial Condition Report, we know the high-end segment has a drift of 0.9. That means we need to increase DUC's performance from 8.0 to 8.9 and reduce the size from 12.0 to 11.1. You can add DUC's round 0 performance and size coordinates into our Capsim Excel drift sheet to calculate its round 1 values. Now, let's check the Capsim Courier Report for the high-end segment to understand customer needs and see if our decisions align with high-end customer requirements for Capsim Round 1. In the high-end segment, the ideal position is the most important factor, accounting for 43% of customer preferences. So incorporating a drift of 0.9 is crucial here, ensuring we offer what customers are looking for. Aside from the ideal position, 29% of customers prefer an age of 0.0 years. While it's impossible to achieve an exact 0.0 age, this is an industry-wide challenge, so there's no need to stress about it. DUC will be released on September 24, 2025, with an age of 1.2 years. Although 1.2 is higher than the ideal 0.0, other competitors will face the same issue since we all start from the same Capsim Round 0 values. Finally, 19% of high-end customers prioritize reliability, with an MTBF between 20,000 and 25,000. Products with an MTBF of 20,000 will likely sell fewer units than those offering the maximum 25,000 MTBF. Therefore, we're opting to provide the highest reliability by setting DUC's MTBF to 25,000. Update your Capsim spreadsheet, recalculate these values, and you'll be set for Capsim Round 1. Capsim R&D decisions. Now, let's work on Capsim Round 1 performance product. The most important thing in the Capsim performance segment is MTBF of 27,000. 43% of the market considers reliability to be the most critical attribute of the product. Based on this, let's give an MTBF of 27,000. Currently has a performance coordinate of 9.4 and a size coordinate of 15.5. From the Industrial Condition Report, the performance segment has a drift of 1.0 for performance and 0.7 for size. Using these drifts, we can calculate DOT's new performance and size coordinates. The new performance coordinate is 10.4, and the size coordinate is 14.8. For easier calculations, you can add Capsim Round 0 coordinates and the drift to the Capsim Excel template, which will calculate DOT's Round 1 values as shown. With this adjustment, DOT will secure the largest share of the 29% customer preference for ideal positioning. Let's recalculate after entering these values to evaluate DOT's age after the revisions. From Capsim's performance segment Round 1 analysis, 9% of customers would find DOT most suitable if it had an age of 1.0 years. DOT will be revised by September 20th, and at that time, it will have an age of 1.6 years. While this is not exactly the ideal 1.0 years, it's close enough, especially considering that all competitors will face the same challenge. Therefore, age won't be a major competitive advantage in CapSim Round 1. Dune Capsim A&D decisions. For the size market segment, the ideal position is also the most important factor, with 43% of customers prioritizing it. From the Round 1 Industrial Condition Report, Dune, our size segment product, needs a drift of 0.7 for performance and 1.0 for size. This is why we've increased Dune's performance to 4.7 and reduced its size to 9.9. For simplicity, you can use the CapSim Excel template to calculate these values for you, as demonstrated. Although a reliability of 21,000 mTBF would be ideal, we've decided to keep Dune's mTBF at 19,000 to allow more time for marketing before its launch. This means we sacrificed 19% of reliability in favor of additional market time. Dune's new version will be released by September 18th with an age of 1.7 years. This is close to the required 1.5 years and ensures we capture a significant portion of the 29% of customers who prefer products that meet the ideal age. Done and Done CapSim R&D decisions. Now, if we want to outperform the other CapSim teams, we can't rely solely on the 5 original products. To boost market share and future profits, we need additional products. That's why we're introducing 2 new products in CapSim Round 1, Done and Dome. Both products will target the high-end segment. The strategy behind this is simple. The original high-end product will eventually transition into the traditional segment after CapSim Round 4. Without new high-end products, we risk losing market share in that segment. For both Done and Dome, set the performance at 10.8 and size at 9.2. For mTBF, give each 25,000. Fortunately, the CapSim Excel template has already calculated the necessary values for your new products. It usually takes 1 complete round to introduce a new product to the market, so Done and Dome will be available starting in CapSim Round 2. They will launch with an age of 0.0, which means we'll meet the ideal age, spot, and reliability requirements for the high-end segment. With these attributes, we'll maximize sales in the high-end segment moving forward. Now complete CapSim Round 1 marketing decisions. For the traditional market segment, price is the second most important factor, and the law of demand states that the cheapest product will often have the highest sales. For our traditional segment product, Daze, we'll reduce the price to $27. This lower price will make us more competitive and likely increase our demand. Additionally, we will raise the promo budget to $2,100. Since awareness drops by 1/3 each round, spending $2,100 on promo will give us an additional 45% awareness, bringing Daze from 55% awareness to roughly 82%. For the sales budget, we are spending $2,200. We want to avoid diminishing returns, which occur when spending beyond $3,000, especially with just one product in the traditional segment. This $2,200 will increase our accessibility by 22%. It's important to note that growing accessibility is expensive and time-consuming compared to awareness, and having multiple products in a segment accelerates this growth. We estimate that Daze will sell about 1,357 units. This figure is based on the total units sold in Round 0, adjusted for the 9.2% market growth rate for CapSim Round 1. You can enter these values into the CapSim Forecasting Excel template, and it will automatically calculate Daze's sales forecast. Moving on to Dell, our low-end segment product, we've reduced the price to $20 per unit. In the low-end market, price is the most important factor, and the most affordable product will likely capture the largest market share, provided other factors remain constant. As with Daze, we've increased Dell's promo and sales budgets to $2,100 and $2,200, respectively, to improve awareness and accessibility. Entering these values into the CapSim forecasting template will give us an estimated demand of 2,080 units for Dell. In the high-end market, where price is less important. Customers expect prices between $30 and $40 per unit. With a price of $38, we're within the acceptable range, and our product remains competitive. In this segment, we're spending $2,000 on both promo and sales. Based on our Capsim Excel template, we estimate a demand of 513 units in the high-end segment. For our performance and size segment products, Dot and Dune, we've set the price at $34.50 per unit for both. We've also allocated $2,000 each for promo and sales budgets. Our Capsim spreadsheet estimates that Dot will sell 540 units and Dune will sell 550 units. These estimates are based on the specific market dynamics for each segment, which are modeled into the CapSim Excel forecasting template. With that, we've completed our marketing decisions for CapSim Round 1. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us via WhatsApp or email, both of which are provided in the video description. You'll also find a link to download the CapSim Excel spreadsheet in the description. Now complete CapSim Round 1 production decisions, starting with the capstone production schedule. When making production schedule decisions, pay attention to the inventory to avoid producing too much or too little. We've modeled both inventory and sales forecasting in the production section of the CapSim Excel template. This production Excel spreadsheet calculates the production schedule for you. Just enter the inventory for each product, and it will return the required production values. For Daze, add an inventory of 189 units. Our production schedule is 1,420 units, slightly more than our forecast of 1,357. This buffer ensures we don't stock out if demand exceeds projections. For Dell, with an inventory of 39, the production schedule is 2,200 units, again slightly more than forecasted. The goal here is to avoid stockouts and meet any unexpected demand increases. For Duck, with an inventory of 40, we'll order a production of 550 units. For Dot, with an inventory of 78, order a production of 530 units. For Dune, with an inventory of 62, we'll produce 560 units. In all these cases, we've ensured there's some safety stock to cover any unexpected demand surges. We aren't producing anything for Dune and Dome this round because they're still in development, and we don't have the capacity or automation in place for production yet. Now let's decide on capacity changes. Start with Dune and Dome, assigning each a capacity of 200 units. For their automation ratings, set both to 4.0. This rating will help keep labor costs manageable. For Daze, a traditional segment product, we only need about 1,000 units of capacity to produce 2,000 units, which matches current demand. Therefore, we don't need the current capacity of 3,600 units. We'll sell 800 units of Daze's capacity, and the money from this sale will be used to improve Daze's automation rating to 7.0. Increasing automation will reduce labor costs, a crucial move as prices in this segment are expected to drop in future CapSim rounds. For Dell, a low-end product where price is key, future rounds will demand even lower prices. The best way to achieve this is by cutting labor costs, which is why we're increasing its automation rating to 9.0. For Duck, a high-end product, we don't need the current capacity of 1,800 units since we're only selling around 500 units. We'll reduce Duck's capacity by 300 units. Dot, another high-end product, faces high material costs because customers expect a high MTVF. To offset this, we'll increase Dot's automation rating to 4.3 to reduce labor costs. For both Duck and Dune, we'll change their automation ratings to 3.5 to further cut labor costs. With all these decisions, we've exceeded our investment quota for this round. To free up more money, we'll sell 350 units of Duck's capacity and 50 units of Dot's capacity. Finally, leave the A/P lag at 30 days. Changing it could result in needing a CapSim emergency loan, which we want to avoid. For Capsim Round 1 Human Resources, we're not allowed to make any changes. However, key decisions in this department include recruiting spending and training budgets. Generally, setting these to the maximum allowed by the Capsim system will yield the best results. Additional decisions in human resources involve profit sharing, hourly wages, and annual raises. Like in real-life scenarios, you can't make everyone happy, so be cautious. Offering too many raises could put your company in financial distress. In Capsim Round 2, you'll need to make HR decisions, so be prepared. For more detailed guidance, check out our Capsim Capstone video course, which covers Round 2 decisions and helps you avoid costly mistakes. Now, let's move on to finance decisions. Capsim offers many options in the finance department, but you can't act on every available option in Capsim Round 1. For example, we won't retire stock because we need funds to finance production. Similarly, we won't issue dividends because there's no surplus retained earnings to distribute. The big question is, should we finance by borrowing or issuing stock? And how much financing do we need? First, check the cash position as of December 31st. In this case, it's negative $27,609, quite a deficit. We'll start by issuing the maximum amount of long-term debt, which is $18,994. This brings the cash position to negative $10,627. We still need about $11,000 to meet Capsim Round 1 obligations, so now we'll issue the maximum stock allowed, which is $13,700. After recalculating, we finally have a positive cash position, $2,628. But there's still a concern: what if our sales forecast is overly optimistic? If so, we need to take out an emergency loan, which would be detrimental. To play it safe, we'll borrow an additional $11,000. After recalculating again, the cash position becomes $12,920. This buffer will protect us from any unexpected shortfalls and emergency loans. Now let's check the Capsim Balanced Scorecard. We're expecting a score of 50.8 out of 82 in Capsim Round 1. This is a solid start, especially since our aim is to build a robust company that will outperform competitors in future rounds. Capsim is all about planning. The better you plan now, the better your results will be by Round 8. The Balanced Scorecard has two parts: projected results for Round 1 and recapitulation of interim results. The projected results evaluate your Capsim decisions in Round 1 and assign points to different key performance indicators. The more you excel in these areas, the better your score. The interim recapitulation results are cumulative and measure items such as profits and emergency loans. While the score may be low in Capsim Round 1, it will grow as you approach Capsim Round 8, depending on how well you manage your company. That wraps up Capsim Round 1. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss future Capsim tips. We have videos covering Capsim Rounds 2 through 8, and you can find links to those in the description. If you need help, feel free to contact us via WhatsApp. The link is also in the description. Thanks for watching, and we hope this video helped you out.